Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bad Guitarist, episode number 77. My name is Andrew.
And my name is Kat.
And we are a weekly guitar gear news show. We talk about pedals, guitars, amps, releases from builders big and small.
Yeah.
From the biggest companies like Fender and Gibson all the way down to, small builders in their basement.
Everything works.
We don't have any big news this week. We do have a couple topics that we can go over.
Okay.
And then a handful of releases.
I feel like I need my microphone closer to me.
Yeah, you usually have it kind of up higher. Sorry for I'm going to probably have to mute part of the sound right here.
You guys are going to be okay.
Anyway, should we just dive on in?
Yeah.
Okay. So, first we want to thank our sponsor. No, I'm just kidding. We don't have sponsors.
We don't have sponsors.
No, that's just usually how all these guitar podcasts start out. Anyway. So, Fairfield Circuitry. They have released the Placeholder Bucket Brigade Reverb. So,
okay.
This is this what I thought it was going to be?
What do you mean?
Okay. I thought this was a delay. Huh. All right. So this is, it says, I am sitting in a room, distance between things, blinded by the moment, subdued by its effect, in phase and out of it. Space is the place. So Placeholder is an analog implementation of a digital reverb algorithm using Bucket Brigade circuits, or chips, sorry, mixers, VCAs, and simple zesty filters. The topology in question is called the householder, allowing quick echo density even with only 3 delay lines. Okay, yeah, so it's a triple delay that makes a simulated reverb.
Okay.
There's no denying the power of the algorithmic representation of our daily activities, but let's not forget the complex system underlying our lived experience, the background noise, and uncertainty is intrinsic. So, we got some controls on this thing, that's for sure. The main knobs are decay, tone, mix, and volume. Big knob over here for size. There's a ratio, and then some flip switches and some extra jacks. So let's learn what all those do. And as always with the Fairfield pedals, they are stamped metal. So they actually, it's like etched into the metal enclosure. So all their pedals have like these plain aluminum enclosures.
Okay.
And like I said, everything is like etched into it. This sells for 620 Canadian dollars. Not sure what that translates to. I think it's probably like 480 or something. Right around there. And these are made in Quebec. And there is specifications. All right. Ooh, there's a complicated diagram.
There's like a manual.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I just want to know what are the switches about.
All right, here we go. So delay lengths. Set the initial room size, a reference delay from which the other 2 delays are scaled according to the ratio control.
Okay.
Wide range, exploiting the full range of the BBD from tiny rooms bordering on flanging to longer delays in a slapback range. Mix is blend between fully dry and fully wet. Unity gain around noon. Plenty of output with the volume control. Here we go. So the switches, there is modulation, depth control has more, slight, and none. And then the type is cyclical. Did I say that right? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, cyclical. Sorry, it just looks weird on this page. Both in random.
Okay.
And low pass first order filter cutoff. So there's slight, open, and more. Slight is 4 kilohertz. Open is 8, and then more is 2.
Okay.
There is a tone that sets the mood for the room. Tilt filter centered around 500 hertz. Flat in the middle. CW cuts out lows and highs. CCW cuts out highs and boosts lows. The overall tone of the wet signal and main feedback path interact strongly with delay or decay controls. And then those CV inputs. Here we go. So one is for decay control voltage. The other one is size control voltage. So pretty cool. You can hook this up to like your synth rig. Like I said, it's 620 Canadian.
Okay.
Yep. Moving on. There is a new Orangewood guitar.
Nice.
Which we got some stuff to talk about Orangewood later today, but this new one is a different version of their Clementine, which is more like it's like their, traditional semi-hollow style guitar. So this is the Clementine Bigsby. So the original version did not have a Bigsby. It comes in 2 or 3 different colors. This one is only available in a dark walnut finish. And we'll look at the specs real quick and see if there's anything else about this. Key features: comfort design, modern semi-hollow guitar with chamber construction, solid carved top, and deep belly cut. Solid wood, smooth textures, glossy maple top with satin mahogany back and sides. Grover roto grip locking tuners, Tune-O-Matic bridge, Bigsby B70 vibrato tailpiece, and Seymour Duncan Seth Lover pickups with coil split toggle and volume tone controls. So it seems like, no, there's not really a whole lot of difference here. It's just the Bigsby and the special colorway.
Okay.
And you do get 2 pick guards with this. So it comes with the cream colored one installed, but you can swap it out for the included black one. So whatever your preference is. Or you could have none, you know? Some people like none. Really thin body on this thing too, with a contoured body.
Nice.
So this one's $14.95. How's that compare to the other version? Okay, so yeah, it's a little bit more expensive because the regular Clementine without the Bigsby is $13.45. So
okay,
yeah, I think it's a nice guitar. I'm not a big fan of the headstock on some of the Orange Woods. It has a just like basic curved top to it. We've got some pedals, it looks like.
Okay, what else do you have with that?
So there is the Strymon Cloudburst ambient reverb pedal, which has been around for a while now. But this is the Midnight Edition for $279. Seems like it's the same as the regular one, but in black.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't think there's anything else. It's just limited edition, sleek, black and white version. And I could be wrong. There could be some difference here, but I'm not seeing anything in the spec sheet that looks different right off the bat.
Okay.
If you go to Sweetwater's website, it says like once this item sells out, it won't be restocked. So this is totally just a limited edition thing. So $280. And then, oh, here's another one. This one's actually pretty cool. I'm not a big fan of the artwork on this one personally, but it sounds amazing. So Source Audio has put out the Pathways Reverb and Tremolo. Oh, I have to cut that. All right, so the Pathways is a 2-in-1 reverb and tremolo pedal, and you get, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that 6 or 7? Yeah, 7 different reverb algorithms, plus 3 different types of tremolo that you could set it to. So there's everything from slap, echo, spring, tank, room, plate, and hall, and then your tremolos are harmonic, opto, and bias. So the 3 basic kinds of trem, and then you have a bunch of different presets you can put in here. As far as controls, though, you have reverb time, tone, and reverb mix, and then tremolo has the speed. There is subdivisions for the tap, and then tremolo depth, and then of course that knob in the middle is your mode selector, and then below that is the preset selector.
Now, what is your problem with the artboard?
I don't know. I just don't like the cactus on there. It's just a personal thing.
Okay.
Now, it sounds really cool. There's a bunch of people that did demos already. I checked out the 60 cycle hum demo, and I was really impressed with the sounds on this thing. I think it sounded really good. Out of all the different 2-in-1 reverb and tremolo units that are out there, there's like the Strymon Flint, the Keeley Zoma, which I had at one point.
I remember.
There's a handful of different, 2-in-1s out there. Yeah. I think this is the best one. Oh. And I think it's kind of one of the more straightforward ones as far as the control set, too. I just think the variety of having that many different reverbs, and you compare them with any of the 3 tremolos. That was my problem with the Zoma, was that you had 3 modes on there, but you couldn't mix and match all the different tremolos and reverbs. It was like you have this preset of this one and this one, and so on. You couldn't just take like this reverb and that tremolo. You had to have just what it was already paired with. But this gives you the option of whatever you want to do. And it's $350, which I think these days that's kind of affordable for this kind of pedal. With the amount of effects that are in here. So, they could have said this was $399 or $450, and I think people would still buy it. So what do you think? You do like the artwork on this thing?
I don't mind. I
like
know of
the
other
enclosure.
Brands that just put like one little thingy on it.
Yeah, you're usually really critical of the artwork. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's really cool. Like I said, there's a bunch of demos out there. It's worth checking out. Cool pedal. And
Okay.
it is stereo, I believe. I think it's fully stereo in and out. So, yeah. Only a couple more.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been slow. It's been slow for releases lately. Now this one, we love native audio around here. This is the Pattern Keeper. It's a looper. Now, batch 1 sold out like immediately. Batch 2, they put out the pre-orders for batch 2, sold out like immediately. So now, right now, you can get on the batch 3 pre-order.
Damn.
But batch 1 started shipping out on the started shipping on the 23rd.
So what, like 5 days ago?
Yeah. So people are probably already starting to get theirs.
Okay.
Batch 2 expected to ship by the 24th of April, so whole month.
Okay, that's gonna take
and
some
then
time.
batch 3 will start shipping about a week later. After that, so it's a really cool. All their pedals are cool, but they're calling this one a phrase modulator.
Okay.
And it says honoring the traditional skill of storytelling through beadwork or layered beadwork. It's a stereo looper with tape-like pitch shifting and reverse playback, along with synth-inspired filtering. Simple melodies become complex, evolving textures through real-time layering. Through traditional beadwork, Pattern Keeper transforms single elements into meaningful stories through thoughtful and creative layering. So you get a bunch of different things here. Synth-inspired filtering with a single knob control, instant reverse and forward playback, expression pedal control over multiple different parameters, dedicated control with no double tapping or menu diving involved. It gives you 60 seconds of stereo recording. And then, of course, with a lot of their pedals, they put like a whole story on the bottom. I love
that.
So it's one of those kind of pedals where, like, be careful if you're going to put Velcro on this thing. Like, put it in the corners, you know.
Because you don't
preserve
want to
that story on the bottom.
Yeah.
So really cool.
I love their pedals.
Yeah. And then did I already say what the price was on this thing?
$299.
$299. So
yeah.
If you want to get on that batch 3, do it now.
Then
or else batch 4, who might be, June
right
or something.
Away.
So that's that one. I think it's really cool. Their pedals are always so beautiful.
They are, though.
Yeah.
And they always have a story behind it.
Yeah, every time.
That's really meaningful.
Yeah. And that's part of like when we started this channel in the show, was that like we wanted to highlight especially small builders and
businesses
tell their story.
Yeah.
Not just about the pedals, but also like tell their story when we could. Which that's something we still haven't got worked out all the way yet, is we just haven't had time to set up the full camera connection kit to the computer to be able to like do real-time interviews with people. We're not going to do them live for a show. We're not going to do a live stream. We're not there yet. But when we do get this set up, it's going to be interviews that are going to be pre-recorded and then inserted into the episodes.
That would be nice.
As a segment. So we're looking forward to doing that. We just haven't been able to get it set up yet just because we haven't had time.
I mean, I felt that when it comes to that point, it will be just you making the interviews.
Maybe. And like I said, it'll just be a segment within the episode. It doesn't have to be a full hour-long interview or anything. And we have had a couple builders that have expressed interest in doing that. So I know we can do it. It's a matter of getting it done.
I just don't think guys will want me just asking like, what's your favorite color?
I mean,
what do you do on your free time?
You can give your perspective on like, hey, what do you do about this? I don't know. I don't interview people. I don't know how this works, but I'm sure I'll be asking stupid questions.
Anyway, what else do we have?
All right. So I have, I think, 2 or 3 more releases here.
Okay, so let's blast through it.
So KMA Machines has put out the stereo headphone amplifier. So what sets this apart from other ones? It has high quality monitoring for the end of your pedal board, dual headphone outputs with large level control, auxiliary input for Bluetooth audio or 3.5mm stereo analog, auxiliary in main mix blend controls, premium analog and high headroom audio with high impedance input circuitry, flexible internal signal routing, full mix or buffered through options.
Okay.
Auto detect TS/TRS 6.35mm inputs and outputs, stereo mono. Made in Berlin, Germany, as all KMA machines are, and powered by a regular 9-volt. And I didn't see I think this is $299.
Is
or
it?
maybe it's $229.
Well, you had to click on buy now, I guess.
But yeah, it's just another option on the market for a cool little headphone.
Okay.
Option.
Wait, click on buy now.
And I have it on the page before this.
You have it on the page?
$229.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we know how much is it.
Yeah, so you can get this on Reverb. You can get this Vintage King, Chicago Music Exchange. But I believe it is one half of the End Game, if I remember correctly. So the End Game, I don't want to say the wrong thing here, but I thought this was... I could be wrong.
Okay. What do you think that was?
No, I thought it was half of the End Game pedal. Because they took part of the End Game and made a pedal a while back to do like the double tracker. We covered that one. So I thought this was the other half of that pedal, but it could just be its own separate thing. So I don't want to give everybody the wrong information. All right. Next up, Keeley Electronics. They started doing a thing last week, I believe, or maybe 2 weeks ago. But they did Brad's Batch Volume 2. So Brad Yankee is the screen printer for the enclosures at Keeley Electronics. And he's been going rogue, just doing one-offs of a bunch of different pedals. So I've seen that they're discussing maybe doing this once every other week or a couple times a month or whatever, maybe once a month. They don't know yet if they're for sure going to do that. But essentially, he'll put together a batch of like 12 pedals. They'll call it Brad's Batch. Like I said, this was Volume 2. Everything from the Compressor Plus to some of the 2-in-1 series. He's got a Cavern, he's got the Echoes, got the Fuzzbender, just like different pedals. Screen printed with unique artwork. And I can't even talk. Brad's Batch Volume 2 sold out pretty quickly. Like I said, there's only like 12. So.
Okay.
And this was a news story we didn't cover last week, but then I remembered after the fact. So, Gibson put out a Gibson Custom Michael Schenker 1971 Flying V Collector's Edition in black and white. So I think you would like this one.
You think I would like it?
Yeah, because there was something like a week or two ago we were covering a pedal or something. You're like, oh, this reminds me of those New York style black and white cookies.
Oh, but I was talking about like the chocolate cookies.
But yeah. I can't remember what we were talking about that day. But I remember this after the fact that this sold out.
It is so loud.
So,
how can that be so loud when it was $17,000?
$17,000, and they only made 50, and they all sold out immediately.
With what money?
Kirk Hammett of Metallica ended up with one of these. So he's one of those 50 people that bought one. And as usual, it comes with like all the collector's edition stuff. It looks like there's like a wipey cloth.
Who are the 50 people that bought that?
I don't know. Has MSG London on the case. So Michael Schenker Group. For those that are unfamiliar, he was one of the early guitarists for the Scorpions, which his brother is the lead guitarist of. But he's played in the band UFO, the Michael Schenker Group. So yeah, these sold out immediately. It's pretty crazy. So I think that was the last of our releases that we were going to talk about. But I just thought that was insane. That it was like a $17,000 custom shop, and it was like they're gone immediately.
I'm surprised. I don't know.
But I guess that's just like the collector culture for these high end Gibsons and stuff. So we do have a couple topics.
A couple?
Yeah, we'll talk about it here in a second. The first topic is the first one's a short topic. So it's been hard trying to figure out exactly what kind of content we need to do for this channel to make it worthwhile. And I'm not saying like financially or anything, because this is a fully self-funded channel. We don't make money out of this. We're not talking about making money. I mean, we did monetize, but we haven't made any money. We did reach the level of being able to monetize on the channel, but we haven't actually made a dime off this thing. We do put, if you've noticed, we've been putting the affiliate links in here lately. But again, it's not about the money for us. It's just, what kind of content can we make that people are actually going to engage with? That's going to make it feel worthwhile, that like putting the effort into making the videos, that somebody's at least going to appreciate the video, I guess.
I mean, but we didn't. When we started this, it was more for fun than anything.
It's definitely still for fun. It's still for fun. It's just like, not the podcast, because on the YouTube channel we have the podcast and then we have gear videos, and sometimes it's me modifying a guitar, checking out a pedal, whether it's a brand new pedal or an old pedal from the 80s or 90s or something, or modifying a guitar from the 70s, which I still need to do part 2 on that video. Just some like random odd piece of equipment, whatever. So something happened this past week where we put out a video 3 weeks ago,
Okay.
on the Orangewood Del Sol standard scale limited edition guitar. And we did our video, and at the time there was only the Orangewood videos and then Ambient Endeavors, who is a large channel. Much larger than us for sure. Those are the only people that had a video on the guitar. So I got mine on a pre-order, so it came in early, and I did the video on it. And this past week, Jason Mays,
I remember
a
that.
much bigger channel than us that we have a lot of respect for around here, he put out his video on it, and it just immediately blew ours out of the water. Like in the first hour, he had more views than ours did in 2 weeks. So it's just like, I'm not sure what we can do to like actually grow this channel in any way, where like the bigger channels can put out a video on the same product and ours just disappears in the algorithm where nobody will find it.
You know what I thought you were going to say?
Huh?
The video that someone. So you have a video on this channel.
Yeah.
Where you put a specific name on that video.
Oh no, that was the Jason Mays video.
That was it?
Yeah. The title of my video was like, "Is it better than a Jazzmaster?" And then his thumbnail was like, "Is it better than a Jazzmaster?" And I was like, he in no way did he copy our video. I'm not going to accuse him of that. It's not at all. It's just funny that like, dang, they're going to think I copied him. Like, because we're nobody. So it's like, dang. Like, I'm not going to go back and change mine, but like, people are probably going to, if they see the two pop up, they're probably not going to look at the dates of when they were published, and they're just going to assume like, oh, this guy's ripping off Jason Mays, which, sucks, but like nothing we could do about it. I mean, he's a successful YouTuber. So,
but you were saying like we both respect him.
Yeah, no, it's just like, it was funny. Like,
okay, funny to you.
No, it's funny in the fact that like, dang, it was the exact same phrasing. Yeah, so it's just, that's the kind of thing I'm saying, like struggling to like figure out what kind of content can we make that people are actually gonna want to see. So that's kind of something. If anybody has suggestions, we're open to it. We communicate with our audience, and I think we're pretty good about like interacting with everybody that comments.
I mean, that's something that doesn't kill me, doesn't bother me.
Well, no, it's just like, sometimes I put like hours into a video and then like it just flops completely.
I know.
So that's always kind of like, better. I'll try it harder next time and see what I can do differently. So maybe it's the thumbnails, maybe it's the titles where it's just not catching people's attention.
Maybe it's just our face.
Maybe it's just my face and my voice. We've had comments that said my voice sucks. So, so that was our first little topic. I just, wanted to throw that out there. It's like, I really don't know what the future of this channel outside of the podcast is going to be. Like, maybe it's not even worth doing gear videos at all. Maybe we should just stick to this one lane of just the podcast. So let us know what you want to see from us. We'd appreciate that.
Okay.
Now the other topic today is kind of a heavy one for us. Now we don't get out much. We don't do a whole lot. We have a son that's 2, almost 3 years old. And we both work full time and go to school full time.
Oh my God, Andrew, you're decorating this so much. Just get to the point.
So there is a music store about 40 miles from us because we live in a suburban area outside of the main Phoenix area. Now, the greater Phoenix area is composed of a bunch of smaller cities. There's Phoenix itself, and then there's like Glendale out to the west of that. To the east, you have Tempe, which is like a college town. You have Mesa, Paradise Valley, Scottsdale. So this is in Mesa. So for us, it's about 40 miles or so away from us. And we've been really interested in going and checking out the store. And we've communicated a few times on social media with the owner of the store. And it seems like a really cool place, and we were both really excited to check it out. And he messaged us. Do you want to say the name of the store on here?
No,
I mean, because we
no. I just think
we had an odd experience there today.
You're decorating this so much that I'm going to have time to go take a shit and come back, and you're going to still be explaining like in this
so essentially,
city and that city.
The owner reached out on Instagram, was like, "Hey, have you guys had a chance to make it in yet?" I was like, "No, but you know what? This weekend's probably a perfect time for us to come down here."
Okay.
Now, this is something we talked about for the channel, is a potential of like maybe getting to know some of the mom and pop shops in
we
the
talk
state.
About that.
And, we'll travel out to them, make a day of it, and like see if we can like, shoot a video, interview the staff, interview the owners, see their story, get like a shop tour or something. So we wanted to go there and check out what they have and probably buy something. Because I don't want to go to a shop and not buy something. It just seems like rude and a waste of their time.
We were already planning on buying something.
Yeah, I was already, and I knew they had stuff there that like on their website and their social media, I knew I was interested in. So essentially, when they said, "You want to come down here, or have you guys been down there yet?" I was like, "No, this is the perfect time. We'll do it this weekend. Instead of just putting it off all the time." So I already had a sale lined up. I was going to sell my Warwick bass, and then that would fund a purchase. And I knew they had like Orangewood guitars, so I wanted to check out some Orangewood stuff because I already bought the Del Sol, loved it, and the owner was really nice on Instagram, and he was like, "Can't wait to meet you guys," and I was like, "Yeah, we can't wait to meet you either." So there was no conversation of any kind about, what I just said about us maybe doing a video there or anything. We did not take any equipment there. We weren't planning on doing a video. It's Saturday.
There was not a time set.
No.
Okay.
There was not a time set that we were going to come down. We're just some nobody guys that have just a podcast.
You could say nobody.
Anyway, so
we're someone.
We were just planning on going down there, shopping, checking out the store, meeting with the owner and saying like, "Hey, yeah, if you're comfortable with it, like on a slow day, I'd love to come down here probably just by myself and just, do the shop tour, interview, whatever." Unfortunately, we didn't make it that far. So we came down to the shop. It was a beautiful shop. I think it was one of the better small music stores I've been in. The decor of the place was nice. They have a record store. They have a coffee shop built into the place. But we walk in and there's one person behind the counter and only one customer in the store at the time. And they're talking. The dude's like taking in a banjo to get it worked on or something. So they're talking for a while. And when we walked in, it wasn't like, "Hey, how's it going? Welcome in." There wasn't any kind of greeting when we walked in. So that right away was like, okay, well, we're going to have to like wait a minute to, talk to somebody. And we see right away, it's not the owner that I had spoke to on social media. And so we're just looking at the, different rows of guitars and amps and stuff, but it's not a large store. So we got done looking around within 3-4 minutes. And then this guy is still, talking to the customer, which that's understandable. We look and there's a little enclosed room where they do the guitar tech stuff. There's a guitar tech in there working on guitars. So we don't expect him to interact with us in any way. And then Kat saw it, but I didn't. That there was another guy just kind of sitting behind the counter in a chair. Is that where you saw him?
No, you told your experience.
Okay,
because I didn't
see the guy.
I
didn't see the guy.
Okay.
I did see a guy that came in and out several times. It looked like he was back and forth between the coffee shop and the music store. And then it seems like there was a woman that was working in the coffee shop, I believe. That was also kind of going back and forth a couple times. Or maybe she was a customer. I couldn't really tell. And there were customers there was a guy with a guitar on his back with a woman, and I think they left together. So it seems like maybe they were shopping beforehand, and then they left. And this was about, 12:30 in the afternoon?
Probably.
So it was kind of weird because we ended up standing around for almost 20 minutes, unable to talk to anybody. Again, like, the guy behind the counter was dealing with a customer the whole time, and there was never at any point where he said, "Hey, you want to check anything out? I'll get you a cable or anything." So it's just kind of like really awkward at this point. And I will say this too: we took our son with us, who, like I said, he's almost 3 years old. We talked to him before we went in. We said, "Hey, buddy, you can't touch anything in here. We don't know the protocol in here. We don't know if we can grab guitars off and start playing them." or if we have to ask to take one down, because some stores are particular about what you can and cannot do. And we took turns actually like kind of holding him, because sometimes when we go to new places, he doesn't want to be on the floor. He just wants to be held because he's nervous. So he didn't touch anything. He was very polite and respectful when he was in there for being a 3-year-old kid. So it was really odd. And then when we finally got to talk to the guy, it seemed like he really didn't want to talk to us, maybe because we had a kid with us. And then I was like, yeah, I really want to check out one of these orange woods. So he grabs me a cable, tells me where the guitar picks are. I plug in the guitar to an amp. I play it for a couple minutes. But at this point, it seems like we're not really welcome in there. It was kind of the impression we got from the guy behind the counter. Is like, just, get you and your kid out of the store. And I play the guitar. I know right away I want to buy it, which I'll throw that up here real quick. It is the baritone version of the Orangewood Del Sol. So if I can, at some point I'll make a video on that. That one came out last year. There's already a ton of videos on YouTube about that guitar, but I knew before we went that was probably what I was going to want to buy, if not maybe an amp or something. So my overall impression of the store was they have a really cool selection of guitars and amps, new and used stuff, pedals, a lot of boutique brands that you wouldn't see at like the big box stores. They had like Westminster Effects. They had some smaller brands. They even had like Victory amps and stuff. I think there were Acorn pedals. There was Summer School in that store. So yeah, they had like a lot of the smaller independent builders and stuff. So that was cool to see. They had 3 or 4 pedal cases. They're used products. They're used amps. They had like a Vox AC4 for under $300. They had a bunch of used Blackstar tube amps under $400 or $500. So they had a great selection. It was a cool looking place. It's cool they had the coffee shop and music, vinyl record section or whatever. But as far as the customer service interaction, it didn't exist. It was pretty much like, hey, make your purchase and get out. When we got to the counter, when I said I was going to buy the guitar, I tried to have a conversation with the guy about like, oh yeah, I've got the non-baritone version. And he was like, oh, I didn't know they made those. And I was like, oh yeah, they had like limited edition ones. They did 3 colors. They had 200 of each color. And he's like, hey, I think there's a gig bag. I'm going to go grab it. I'm like, oh, okay. Now, we can get into that part in a little bit. Let's tell your story.
I feel like you're decorating.
No, I have more to say. I just don't want to just tell all of it. I want us to talk about it together. I don't want to just jump in by myself. So I want you to start where you want to start.
Where I want to start?
Like, do you want to start from the beginning when we walk in the door? Because you saw more than I did, because I'm looking at guitars.
No, here's my thing. Mm-hmm. If you have been listening to this podcast,
yeah,
you know that when I hate something, I'm just going to let you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
He decorates things. I don't.
I'm just trying to paint a full picture. I'm just trying to paint a full picture. But
exactly
you have insight into some things that I didn't, because I was focused at like, what's the gear look like? Like,
I'm just going to tell you as I saw it. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to like cover anything.
Yeah.
Because it's just
totally
me.
Fair. Yeah.
Okay. That's just who I am. Now, we were excited to go to this shop, okay? Like, we were. Mm-hmm. We were. I wear my nice clothes. I made sure my son had his nice shoes on. No, don't laugh.
No,
that's true. I was like, oh my God, we need to make a good impression. Oh my God, I love small builders, okay? Small shops, small builders.
Yeah, we want to support local businesses. Yeah.
We love to support local businesses. I was so excited. I even comb my hair. I don't do that often. Okay,
and it was for us. It was about a 45-minute drive.
It was a long drive.
Well, I mean, we did make a stop on the way to sell the bass to somebody, but
we were okay with the long drive. Okay,
yeah, because we've been wanting to go check this place out.
Now, just to give you some context, I'm a Latino mom. Okay, so with our kids, we're really particular, and also I'm not going to say, because I'm not rude, but we have a set of rules with our son. He knows guitars. He's around guitars all the time.
He knows to be respectful of
at home. We
the
have
instruments,
the music room. He knows what to touch, what not to touch.
Yeah.
So unlike other kids that might don't have enough interaction with those things, our son actually does. He has his own set of drums. He knows what kind of guitar to touch, when to touch, and when not to touch.
He plays with ukuleles all the time. He doesn't really know how to play. I mean, he's, like I said, he's almost 3 years old, so he doesn't really know how to play anything, but he knows how to, like, strum and...
But he was told ahead of time, multiple times, you're not going to touch anything. You keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah.
You don't want to have this conversation later on.
Yeah, because we didn't want him to possibly... And if he broke anything, we'd obviously pay for it, but...
And he was a good listener. Yeah. Okay, so from the get-go, Andrew was holding him. Okay?
Yeah, when we first walked in, I was holding him.
He was holding him. And by holding him, I don't mean that he was just holding his hand. No.
No, because he does have anxiety in places, so he wants to be, up.
Hello.
So,
yeah. Okay. So we get to the place and we're just coming in. And this guy is talking to another guy about banjo. Fair.
That's his job.
I don't care. That's his job. That's what he does.
Yeah.
He comes, he look at us. I get, okay, his impression probably was like, oh my God, they have a kid with them.
Yeah.
But he didn't even fake the face, okay? It was just like a disgusting face, like, oh my God, they have a kid. I was okay with that. I was fair, it's a music stores. You have things that are really expensive. You don't want a kid to touch them. We know that too, okay? Yeah. Like Andrew say, the chop is not really big, okay? So you're done with that chop like this. And that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, they had good stuff to look at. It was a nice store. They had good pedal displays we were looking at and stuff.
But... However, because it was so small and he was having such a long conversation with the banjo guy, we went around the store multiple times.
It looked, to another person, it would look awkward of like, we're just kind of like, at one point we're kind of just standing hoping that we can get to talk to somebody.
You can work from the entrance to the coffee shop like in no time, back and forth, and that's what we're doing at this point, okay?
Yeah.
So back, forth, we're like looking, we're re-looking,
and
we're
again,
like talking.
To reiterate what I said earlier too, we don't know the protocol in this particular store if you're allowed to just grab something off the wall, or if I were to start doing that, would I get yelled at to not do it? But we want to be
respectful of that, So we're just like, wait.
And we don't want to interrupt a conversation because they were deep into this conversation about what modifications they were going to do to this banjo. So
now, again, there were other employees. Okay.
Now, I only saw, personally, the guitar tech that was in the guitar tech room doing his job in there. I would not expect him to come out and talk to us.
No, but I was expecting the guy at the counter being like, "Oh, I'll be with you in a minute, guys." Since he was the one that was in the counter,
Yeah.
But he kept talking about this banjo and banjo this and banjo that, and I was like, "Okay, that's fine." It has been 20 minutes at this point. Okay.
Yeah.
Like we're walking back and forth. Mind you, I think the shop is smaller than our house. I don't think it's that big.
No, it's like a somewhat narrow but long room.
Okay, so we were definitely going to buy something. He had the money. He has just sold his bass, the money was there.
And most likely I was leaning towards another Orangewood guitar, whether it would be one of their acoustics or the Baritone Del Sol, which is what I ultimately got. But I knew based on their social media, they had a bunch of like really cool used amps that have recently come in. And we do research on places before we go to them because we don't get much time to go to places. And
it's true, we're busy all the time.
Guitar stuff is the thing I'm really passionate about. So
now all this time, this guy is talking behind the counter about this banjo, and he's looking at us like, like what's going on with that?
Now
I didn't steal anything.
I didn't see that. I know you saw it because you were looking over to see. When are they going to wrap this up? And then there were people that, like I said, I don't know if they were customers or whatever that came out of the coffee shop. The guy had a guitar on his back. They had coffees. And then they stopped by the counter. And they're like, oh, hey, all right, goodbye, man. Like, we'll see you next time or whatever. And he was immediately interacting with them as they were starting to walk. But like, he started saying goodbye to them, I believe, before they even, stopped to say goodbye.
Still, have he talked to us?
So, yeah, we're still just kind of like awkwardly at this point standing there. And I think I even turned to you and said, should we just go?
Yeah.
Keep in mind, about 300 feet away across the intersection is another music store. One that I have not had bad experiences with, but one that like it's like super outdated. That the store's been there for like 80 years or
but
something.
we were
So like that
to
particular store.
You might just go there,
Yeah, let's walk around and see. Worst case scenario, we'll end up at a Guitar Center. But this particular store, it's been around just only a couple years, and we really wanted to see this store.
Yeah.
Now, where I left off on my story is okay if I add another.
Oh
detail
yeah,
here.
go for it.
Now, when we got to the register to buy the guitar, and I tried to make some not even small talk, just talk gear. I mean, he talked to this guy about the banjo forever.
Do like 20
and
minutes.
I was really interested in like having a conversation about the gear they have and like talking. Now, our expectations walking into this is, like I said, we're not big time YouTubers or anything. We're really small potatoes.
No.
But we've had interactions with the owner. And we were really looking forward to meeting him. I've heard nothing but good things about him, and that he's a super nice guy, and it's a good shop, and like all the reviews except for like maybe 4 or 5 on Google are like really positive reviews. So we were really excited about this, and the fact that we missed him. We either got there after he left or before he got there. Because again, we didn't try to set up a time to meet up with him or anything. We just we said, hey, we're coming down on Saturday.
It wasn't like a set meeting. Okay.
We're not we can't be super disappointed that he wasn't there when we got there.
No.
It was hit or miss on who was going to be there. But from what I understand, it's a father and his 3 or 4 sons. And this was one of the sons, I believe.
I mean, I don't really know if it was one of the sons.
No, I believe it is. But
was someone else besides the owner?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just basing this off of like what I've seen on their social media.
Okay.
For the shop. Now, for me, we do this show and like, I interact with a lot of guitar builders and pedal builders and whatnot, through social media. But I personally have had really bad social anxiety my whole life. Now, we just found out about a month ago, which was no surprise, but that I'm on the autism spectrum. So for me, that's the one thing where it's like, I got to go in there. Like if I'm going into a music store, that's like Candyland for me. That's the one place where I can have a fully comfortable conversation with somebody. Yeah. So for me, that's kind of what hurt is like, I want to have this conversation. Let's talk about gear. And the dude's just like, let me go get the gig bag. And,
no, he totally ignored you.
And so I was like, okay, whatever. So we pay for it. And he's like, all right, here's your guitar. You guys are good to go. And it's like,
okay.
All right. Cool. So later on, I did get a message from the owner that said like, oh man, I'm sorry I missed you guys. And like, I know had he been there, we probably would have had like a completely different experience.
Probably.
And we probably would have a nice relationship with this store. So I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for this. I don't know how often, if at all, they actually watch or listen to this podcast. That's why like we don't want to throw the name out there because we're not trying to hurt the reputation of a store. We're not trying to shy people away from going there, whether it be just 1 or 2 people. We do have several, at least 5 or 6 of our viewers that we interact with regularly are based in Phoenix. We're not trying to scare them away from the store, tell them not to go there. This was a one-time bad experience. But I will say this. With you being both a woman in this space that is male-dominated and being an immigrant, that kind of experience can make you never want to go somewhere like that.
Oh,
again.
I told you. I hated it. I hated that experience.
For me, it's like, my personality is like, I'd be willing to give him one more shot or, like go in there another time or whatever. But I know for you, that's like, that could be the end of it,
No, just think about this. We're not talking about like being a woman or being an immigrant.
Yeah.
Just think about this. If you took the time to stand around for 20 minutes, just standing around, and no one came to you and no one say, oh, wait a minute, like give me 1 second, I will be with you in a second. 20 minutes, at that point, that person is gonna buy something. Because if you were just like chopping
we would've
around
just
and
looked around
whatever,
and left, yeah.
then you will have
That's a good
left like
point, yeah.
within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But if you took the time to just stand there for 20 minutes,
Yeah.
obviously you have a purpose, which was, it's ours.
Yeah.
We had a purpose. We were going to buy something. We were willing to wait.
Yeah.
Then why not to be nice? Like,
Yeah.
what about that?
Now, there is I can't remember the name of this YouTuber. I caught this video. It's funny because I watched a video that she did where she was talking about a Philip McKnight video, and then Phil McKnight responded to her video. But essentially, she was discussing the fact that he had put out a video a couple weeks back where he had a lawyer friend or a surgeon friend who went into Bizarre Guitar in Phoenix. And I've had the same kind of experience at Bizarre Guitar, so it's kind of funny because the old owner was very rude. And he was like a gatekeeper. And so this surgeon friend of Phil McKnight went in there, tried to buy a Gibson Les Paul. The guy heard him play for a minute and was like, oh, no, you're at an Epiphone level. Like, you want an Epiphone. You don't want a Gibson Les Paul.
Like, why?
And then this other creator, JoJo Rocks, I can't remember her exact channel name. She responded to that and she was like reacting to like, oh, I can't believe this experience is like that. She was responding to it and like, you know, she gave her perspective as like a female in the guitar space that like, you know, in the country that she lives in the UK, where it's not necessarily like that, but like she was understanding of the fact that like a lot of women face that problem going into a music store where they get ignored or belittled or talked down to or, you know, mansplained to. So I don't know. I mean, again, I don't know your entire perspective other than what you've told me, but like I can picture one being a woman that walks into a music store with a child feeling like maybe that's why you're being ignored.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I do think it was kind of funny as we were checking out. I was already like about to pay for it or whatever. The guy was putting it in the case. Our son, the very first thing he did, he was silent the whole time we were in the store. He just let out like a scream out of nowhere. It was just one single scream. And I jumped. I was like, oh, sorry. Like that scared me. And the guy was like, oh, scared the hell out of me. And it's just like okay. Sorry, man. Like, so, yeah. But yeah, no, I don't know. It felt like this particular guy didn't really want us in the store. I don't know.
And we were comparing that experience with the experience that we have at Guitar Center.
Yeah. So Guitar Center, which is notorious for terrible service. Last year, we stopped into the Tempe location, which after it had been remodeled to be one of these more like luxury, higher end Guitar Centers.
With our son.
Every single person in that store stopped us, was like, hey, what can we do for you? Like, is there anything I can, point out to you? Or is there anything like we can help you guys get? Or like, feel free to sit down with any of the guitars, plug into our brand new, giant pedal board setup that we have over here. Just whatever you guys need. And so I was getting a Gibson Les Paul at the time.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'd already asked them if they had a certain amp in stock that I'd seen on the website. And they're like, no, but we can get it for you on sale if you have it shipped to the store. They were offering me a bunch of deals on things that, like, I was surprised. Like, usually, I'd been ignored in any Guitar Center, waiting like 30 minutes and like still being ignored. Yeah. With a line of people that are all being ignored. And so that experience was like really cool. And then, like I said, every single person we passed by, hey, can I help you? Can I get you anything? Like, they were like not in our face about it, but they were like just very genuine. Nice. It seemed like very genuine.
Like, so nice.
And then you took our son over to like while I was checking out. It was a process because the guy had to go in the back, get the case, come back, ring it all up.
I'm walking around with our son.
So you went over by like the little like household merchandise section where they have like the coffee cups and lunch boxes and stuff. And, you had the guy that came up to you that was like, oh yeah, we got a great selection for kids over here. And
like look at this, look at that. And I ended up buying a lunchbox.
Yeah.
I wasn't even going to buy anything, but it was like, oh my God, look how the little guy will look with his lunchbox. The lunchbox
so
is enough. And I bought it.
It was insane that like we had such good service at a Guitar Center of all places. And then that was, I think, the last time we went to a music store before this occasion.
But it was like such an amazing experience.
And then I had a bad experience with a Fender Telecaster. That's something we covered at the beginning of this podcast, way back a year and a half ago, when I bought a Player 2 Telecaster. It needed work. I didn't want to drive into the big city, so there's one music store in this small suburban area that we live in, and I was iffy about it because it's a little old mom. It's not like a modern mom and pop. It's very outdated. They got stuff that's probably been on the walls for decades. And I ended up having a great conversation with that guy, and like he even took me in the back to see like his whole setup where he mods the guitars and repairs them. We talked about Fender amps because I had an amp that I was considering at the time, like, is it worth even repairing? And he's like, oh, let me show you. He showed me the whole rack of like, they had every Fender amp repair manual from like the 60s to up until they started using modern PCB stuff that's no longer hand wired. So they had like 40 years worth of a repair manual. So he was like, oh yeah, I got you. And like we're talking about different stuff they had in the store. And it wasn't like I was like hovering over the guy, like, bothering him. It was like he was a fellow guitar enthusiast that just wanted to talk about stuff. And that's his passion, and that's what he wanted to do. And he took the time to talk to me, about gear. So I know I don't want to go on forever, but like this experience was it was a weird experience. I came out of it with a nice guitar, and I'm happy with the guitar. And if not for this guitar, I probably would have bought one of 3 different really good amps there. They had an orange Tremolo combo. Used, it was like $800, which is a very fair deal for one of those. They had a Vox AC4 for less than $300. They had a good variety, small shop, but a good variety of a mix of different high and lower mid end equipment. They had Dunnable guitars up on the wall. They had, some Gretsch. They had Ernie Ball, Music Man, like some Sterling guitars and stuff. So they had a good variety of different price points, a lot of different gear for big and small brands. They had Electro Harmonics. They had Keeley. But like I said, they had some smaller stuff like Acorn and
Summer School Electronics.
Summer School. They had a good variety of stuff.
Yeah, we're not talking about...
And the store was beautiful.
We're not talking about this store. Yeah. Okay, just to clarify.
It's just the vibe of when we walked in there was like, as we both work in customer service.
We do.
Now, different spectrums of customer service. Like I work in sales directly, where, the type of sales that I do, we do high volume of tens of thousands of dollars a week. Between the 3 sales routes that I work, we're pulling almost $70,000 in sales per week. And we have different stores that we service. And between those 3 routes, it's probably about 30 stores, maybe a little less. And if you get on the bad side of one of these store managers, you could lose so much space for your product. So it's like, that's being friendly and, staying on people's good side, especially like, greeting them when you walk in the door or they walk in the door. You want to say hi and stuff. It's just right off the bat and stuff like.
It's not to be friends with.
Yeah.
But you still want to have a cordial conversation with a person.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's like I said, I can't really do small talk, but when it's like a subject I'm really interested in, I can talk to you all day about it. This podcast could be 12 hours long. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think we should go any further on it. Do you have any closing statements on that you want to talk about?
A closing statement.
No, I'm just saying, like, did you have any final thoughts you want to throw in on that?
I just want people to think about this. Okay.
Yeah.
Before you make a comment on this podcast.
Yeah.
on this episode. Just think about this, because I know a lot of people is going to comment like, you should have never gone with your kid, or why did the cat even go if she doesn't play the guitar? Before you make those kind of comments, just think about this. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what kind of person you are. You can be smelling bad. You can have break claws. You can look bad. If you are going to purchase something, you are a client and you deserve a good service. Regardless. If you take the time to be at the store and you have the money to buy something, it doesn't matter who you are. You deserve a good service.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
Now, I will say this too. When I told the guy I wanted to check out a specific guitar, he did, do the basic, let me get you a cable, plug into whatever amp you want, check out whatever you want off the wall. But that's like the standard when you walk into a music store and you say you want to check some stuff out. So that was, it wasn't like, no, you guys can't touch anything. But, there was that. I'm not going to say like, he didn't give us service at all. He did. It just was very brief and, is what it is. Yeah. I think that's probably just about it for tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get some videos out on that baritone guitar. I still have to do the refinish video on the Fender Music Master. But yeah, and we got some affiliate links we're going to try to throw on here, whatever. I don't know. You don't have to click on them, but it's just, trying to level up what we can do for the channel as far as like just making it look more professional. That being said, I really don't have anything else.
Good night.
Yeah, I guess
we'll or good morning. I don't know.
Next week.
Bye.
Bye.